Imagine walking into your home after a 12-hour shift, expecting a quiet evening, to find 5 strangers playing a drinking game in your living room. Before you can even drop your bags, one of the guests, someone you've never met, looks at you and asks why you are there. This is the result of sibling trust being used to systematically dismantle personal boundaries. 10 months ago, this was just a normal living arrangement. A 23-year-old woman moved into her first nice apartment and gave her younger sister, Amelia, a spare key for convenience and emergencies. Amelia was 20 and still living with their parents. She was vocal about how much she hated it and how badly she wanted her own place. The spare key was intended as a safety net, but Amelia used that constant access to slowly treat the apartment as her own. The escalation began with Amelia visiting every single day. She became fixated on the apartment's aesthetic, frequently critiquing the decor and suggesting how we should move the furniture. Soon, the older sister began finding her things rearranged. Small items were moved or replaced while she was at work, a quiet assertion of control over the environment. In psychology, this is known as territory marking. It starts with simple physical access, but through constant micro-adjustments to a space, a person begins to develop a sense of psychological ownership over a home that isn't theirs. The claims eventually went public. At a party, the older sister overheard Amelia showing pictures of the apartment to friends and describing it as her new place. Amelia wasn't just visiting anymore. She was using her sister's life and home as a stage to perform the role of an independent adult for her peers. The delusion became a physical invasion when the older sister came home early to find Amelia on the couch, hosting a girl she had never met. A few days later, it happened again. This time, Amelia was hosting 2 of their cousins, acting as if she were the rightful host of the home. The homeowner tried to set a clear limit. She sent a text message asking Amelia to at least request permission before bringing people over. Amelia's response was a single, dismissive letter. That lack of respect culminated in the party. 5 strangers, a drinking game, and a younger sister convinced she had the right to host a crowd in someone else's home. When polite requests and written warnings are ignored, the time for gentle conversation has passed. The homeowner was left with no choice but to reclaim her space by force. The older sister ended the charade immediately. She loudly clarified that she was the sole resident, informing guests that Amelia still lived with their parents, and ordered everyone to leave. The friends fled, and the physical occupation was finally over. However, the family's reaction was unexpected. Instead of addressing the violation of the home, the parents turned on the older sister, accusing her of humiliating Amelia in front of friends. When boundaries are enforced late, the person standing up looks like a sudden aggressor, despite months of repeated violations. Amelia's devastation wasn't her sister's tone, but that her fabricated world was destroyed in front of the people she tried to impress. This story presents a difficult question about the cost of privacy. Is a person's right to a secure, private home more important than a family member's social reputation? The family argues that a private conversation could have handled the situation without the public embarrassment. But if someone has already ignored your texts and your rules to take over your home, do they still deserve a polite exit? Tell us your verdict in the comments.